Tonight was an open house for Broomfield's air quality monitoring program.
So this is Anthem Ranch.
They drive around the pads, watching for plumes.
And then this small box here is our remote control canister.
And we've been meeting with people and explaining what it is we're doing with the program, with multiple technologies and the high spatial and temporal monitoring that we have going on in Broomfield that'll be starting in November. And really talking to the public about what technologies we're using, what kind of benefits Broomfield and the industry overall will get from the data that we're collecting. And also a lot about our philosophies about data sharing and making things very transparent for the public. Really telling a story about the air quality in Broomfield. And that voltage change tells you we had some VOCs, X number of VOCs in that little sample measurement.
The main objectives of this project are to look at what are the oil and gas emissions from oil and gas sites up close to them, and then what happens when that air migrates to community level. The uniqueness of this project is we're actually looking at Broomfield, and so we're able to get the specific characteristics of our topography and our meteorological data so that we really understand what's happening in our community.
The vehicle that you see is our plume tracker, where we have real-time measurements of methane, acetylene, and BTEX compound, which is benzene, toluene, ethylbenzene, and xylenes. And so we deploy this vehicle when activities start in Broomfield, oil and gas activities, and then we drive around near the pad where activities are happening. And so we try to find the emission plume from the pad. Once we find that, then we track it down into the neighborhoods to see what the concentrations of emissions for methane and BTEX are. As part of our project, we're going to make the data available to the public, and they're going to see the data on a web portal set by Ajax Analytics, where they can be informed about what's going on in their air, the trends of air quality in their area, using both the mobile plume tracker and the 18 stationary sites.
We are deploying 18 of these sensors. It's an IoT device which will be reading real-time data on air pollutants and also a meteorology station. This will be coupled with a canister which will be detecting 48 VOCs and will be collected weekly. We have a great interest in environmental monitoring, and we want to do our absolute best and hopefully build a sustainable tomorrow with the people of Broomfield, and they're all about that, which is amazing.
The whole idea of this project from our perspective is to understand air emissions from transportation sources such as the Northwest Parkway, air emissions from oil and gas activity, air emissions from other things like fueling stations. One of the strengths of the data is there's a lot of spatiality to it, meaning we can understand trends across different areas.
I think it's helped people to understand. You know, we proposed to Broomfield a fairly complex monitoring program. It's hard for people to read enough to figure out the answers to all their questions. So here's a chance for them to come and ask those of us that have designed the study and carry it out questions that they might have about concerns that they might have, how the measurements will help address those, and so forth. Clearly, citizens are engaged in this, and it's great that Broomfield put on this event to help address some of their questions.
It's just an opportunity for us to reach out and meet with the public and talk about all hazard preparedness.
So one of the pleasures of interacting with Broomfield's public has been that they're really informed about emissions, air quality, oil and gas, and so it's really nice to talk to them. The reaction that we've gotten today is that they're really interested in what's going on. They ask informed questions, and it's really exciting for us because they ask questions that we've asked ourselves in preparing this study.
There's a lot of citizens out there that are very concerned about oil and gas activity in their city, in their neighborhoods. And an event like this helps people understand what Broomfield is doing to help protect their health and safety, as well as what some of the new technologies and new approaches to collecting environmental data are. And that understanding is what drives the conversation forward and really helps people both feel safe and actually be safe. And I was also pleasantly surprised to see how many citizens genuinely want to understand the technologies, understand the monitoring solution, and really get a good feel for what they get to see and how it'll affect their daily lives.